Welcome to Gist Nigeria from the BBC and Channels TV, where we bring you fresh perspective on stories being liked, shared and tweeted about by the social media generation. I'm Ajoke Hulotze. Let's get right into our top story this week. Now, the recent rainfall has left Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital, partly covered by flood waters, with some of the city's drains clogged and in some cases non-existent. Flooding has become a costly annual experience. So, what are the authorities doing to manage flooding in the state? And are we informed at the residents about their role in keeping drains clean? Gist Nigeria's Wale Fakile tells us more.
Lagos is a city surrounded by water. It is home to over 20 million people, most of whom earn their livelihood from the informal sector. A coastal and port city, it's easy to see why millions of people from across the country pour in and stay in. With basic infrastructure stretched to its limit, seasonal occurrences like rainfall can quickly become a nightmare. Most of Lagos residents live in communities like this in Agege. The heavy downpours on June the 18th left residents here counting their losses. Most significant was the disappearance of 4-year-old Azizat.
There's something around 5:30, water enter our house, so everybody will come outside and run. As we run, I carry my baby and my wife carry the second baby too. So as we are going outside, we fell inside the gutter, and one of my elderly baby fell inside the drainage, and from there we haven't found him since.
This one is cloth. This one is cloth. Every water. Don't spoil everything. All my bed, my fan, my telly, everything don't spoil. I don't tire.
Residents say this community is usually not covered in floodwaters when the yearly rains pour in. Others claim the drains running alongside a recently reconstructed road in the area were built above the ground level of their houses. Could this have caused the drains to empty into their homes?
It's gutter or the road they didn't do. It's the gutter. But the rains come from outside, not inside. When the gutter filled up, you now enter inside the house. Now what happened yesterday? Now from gutter, the water they flow. From main road, the water they flow enter. From gutter, everywhere filled up. But if that gutter didn't fill up, or the road didn't fill up, you will not enter inside the compound.
Meanwhile, the staff government official of the Lagos State Ministry of Environment says the floodwaters are connected to clogged drain channels blocked by residents' activities.
Regrettably, however, despite several warnings at different fora, some members of the police are not in sync with the state government on the matter of keeping our drainage channels free from refuse and silt, but have been dumping all manners of waste, including plastics, tires, and rubbers into drainages already cleared to allow for easy flow of water. Now, we are once again using this medium to sound a note of warning to those engaging in these unlawful acts to desist from, because if they are caught, we will ensure that they are diligently prosecuted. We are giving clear instruction to all law enforcement agents not to treat environmental and sanitation offenders with kick laws anymore.
Urban flooding and flash floods are often recorded in some parts of Nigeria. It has killed thousands of people and displaced millions globally. And when it is seemingly unavoidable, the losses and damages in its way can be prevented by proper mitigation planning. This water and drainage expert says the yearly floods in Lagos can be avoided with better drainage networks. of 1,750 millimeters.
Available observation indicated increasing rainfall amount with increasing intensity within limited time. And this triggers what is called flash floods, especially in cities like Lagos, where you have large population and most areas are built up. In these parts of Lagos, especially the city center, you should expect more flash floods. And then also areas close to the beach also we're witnessing sea level rise. So with increasing flash flood and sea level rise, we are expected to see more flood waters around.
With NIME's predictions in hindsight, were there proactive steps taken by the state government to prevent the loss of lives and property?
What you are finding in Lagos is flash flooding. And for the record, as I'm talking to you, we are constructing 42 secondary collectors. I mean, about more than 42, about 46 collectors right now. We are dredging almost 56 primary channels. And if you're watching the media regularly, you see all the inspections we've done over time, taking you, the media guys, to those places we're working. We are working on secondary collectors at the same time. We are not just constructing, we are maintaining. And you know, funds are limited. Government can't do any abracadabra and touch the four corners of Lagos, as it were. Is it possible?
As residents brace up for increased rainfall, experts say other measures must be adopted as individuals need to take more responsibility.
We need to conduct a risk assessment to get the areas where we'll be having recurring. We should look at the flood history, look at where we had flooding previously over the last 30 years, and then look at the developments. Maybe we can use tools like GIS to look at where we've had built up areas, where we will have flooding, to look at the areas of the lowest elevation, and then we make a drainage design. We do a proper drainage design, and we start with the lowest, with the most flood-prone basins in the metropolis, and then we channel all those together, and then we start adding, on an annual basis, we start adding all the other areas that are less, we go from the most flood-prone to the less flood-prone. Now we can progress in that sequence.
With clogged drains and limited channels for flood waters to empty off dry land, the risks of flooding in Lagos remains a deep concern. Residents of this community in Agege are still counting the cost from the flash floods that took over their homes and plunged their lives into despair. For Basit, he has vowed not to end the search for his 4-year-old daughter. Wali Fakile, Just Nigeria.